intriguing, really, because Iran we've never played before. Obviously, we could have an all-British tie, which will be unique. But whatever happens, there is going to be an emotional game, because if everybody, of course, is thinking about Ukraine and their people at this time. So, and then the States, I've got to know the coach quite well in the last few months, and I think he's doing a really good job. A lot of good young players coming through. So, yeah, it's one of those groups. Of course, we're the top seeds. We'll be expected to go through, but any of those games are games you could easily come unstuck in.
What was your reaction, to the draw? It could have been harder, couldn't it? So you pleased that it was slightly softer, although still intriguing with some of those matchups?
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate to attend 5 or 6 draws now with Nations Leagues and European qualifiers, and the draws are fairly irrelevant. You've got to go and win the games, and I think historically England have had groups that, with fixtures that have looked straightforward and haven't taken care of them. So we've been able to do that in the last couple of years, but we've got to do it this time as well.
We've never beaten the US in the World Cup, and as you said...
Well, there you go then.
don't want to put the mockers on it already, but we've never beaten them in the World Cup, and they're on the rise. But Greg Berhalter quite well, don't you? Do you view them as perhaps the stiffest test in the group?
Well, I think in terms of ranking, clearly, and they're a team that are definitely on the up. But yeah, look, if we play Scotland or Wales, it's a unique fixture. So that we've lived through that with Scotland last year. The team played Wales in 2016, which went right to the last minute. So they are always complicated games for us. And Iran is one that I know least about, although I remember their games in the last World Cup where they did really well. So I'm at the moment just filtering it all through and looking forward to getting down and watching a bit more of all the opponents, really.
And in terms of England's ambition, every tournament you take charge of seems to go one step further. Is the next step to win this?
Well, ultimately that's what we're here for. We're trying to achieve that goal, and it's possible because if you can get to a semi-final, we said, well, then we could get to a final. If you can get to a final, then of course you can win. So, but we're one of several teams who are in that position. I think it's quite wide open, really. There's a lot of very good teams, a lot of very good coaches, and of course on any given day, any team in the competition can also beat any other and knock them out. So that's the beauty of cup football, and the World Cup is the competition it is because of that.
And just finally from me, I know you haven't been here very long now, but I don't know if you've got more of an impression of Qatar, and I know Nasser Al Khater from Qatar 2022 said he wants to meet you. Has that date been put in the diary, and perhaps has your perception of Qatar changed a little bit whilst you've been here?
No, I've spoken with Hassan today, who I've met a few times, and I think we have really good dialogue with the local organising committee. We know there are some cultural differences. We've spoken about that, and they're aware there are some things that we would like to help see some change, but equally we're respectful that we're in another country and a different culture, different religion. We have to be ambassadors for our country, and we have to be the right sort of diplomatic envoy, if you like, because if you want change to happen, that has to be done with the right sorts of conversations in the right way.
Maybe your task for the next weeks and months will be convincing people to stop saying that England got an easy way into the next round. Will you be saying a lot of the picture of Rob Green, maybe, or that's one of your tasks now?
Well, yeah, that won't be very nice for Rob, because I know Rob as well, and that was such a difficult night. But of course, that shows you exactly how complicated these fixtures are. We had a draw with Algeria in that same group, and that ended up meaning we played Germany in the second round. So all of the fixtures are complicated, and of course our supporters, rightly so, would expect us to win. We're the top ranked team in the group, but football isn't so straightforward.
You mentioned that Ireland has never played, plus you don't know the name of one of the opponents, maybe one close rival, or maybe Ukraine in a game would be politically charged, emotionally charged. Is that uncertainty around the group making things harder in terms of preparing, scouting, etc., etc.?
No, because look, we all totally understand Ukraine's situation, and we have huge empathy and sympathy for them. So it isn't important whether we can scout or not. The situation there is far more important than that. From our side, we now know that we will be playing on the first match day, so we know the timelines. We know we will have to be here very quickly and adjust, and we know we haven't got a big recovery from the last Premier League games. So those things are things we can go away and work on now and try and prepare in the best possible way.
That thing, the schedule changed a lot of the preparations of your plans since the last Euro, the last World Cup?
Yeah, well, the last World Cup we had, I think, 28 days before our first match working with the team. And this time we'll have 6 or 7, and that includes the day where we fly and the day after the league matches. So no time at all. It will be like a normal qualification camp for us rather than a World Cup preparation.
Yes, the last yeah. This could be the opportunity for football. There are lots of talk all this week about football uniting people. Could be football achieving what politicians done about uniting people, uniting countries, uniting all of us?
Well, the beauty of a World Cup. I've been to a World Cup as a player, as a coach, as a fan, and when I was following the World Cup in Brazil, I was working for the team, but I was travelling on my own, and you saw the interaction between people of all countries, all the different continents. It's an amazing thing, you know, the colour, the love of football bringing people together. So that they are the things we should focus on. I understand we have to talk about other serious things, of course, but that is the opportunity that football has to bring all those different cultures together.